little ones coming through on Friday morning. How does it leave in place for the first game?
Yeah, well, it's sort of the big question at the moment. It's the real unknown, especially for us too. But yeah, I've sort of been pretty clear with the club, and we've spoken about it a fair bit. And if that sort of happens, then I won't be able to play. But happy to go to the game, and if it's all looking normal. So right now, it's just completely normal. So it's just a waiting game. That's sort of the hard part about it. You just never know when it's going to come, but it's exciting for both of us. And I'm just going to train and prepare like I'm going to play. And if nothing changes, then I'll go to the G and pull the boots on. And if the call comes at sort of half time, then that'll be a decision that has to be made then.
Could be, maybe you and Tom out potentially if things play out the way they do. I mean, what's sort of looking forward line would we expect to see there? And I guess there are plans in place for that if that is the scenario.
Yeah, I haven't really, spoken too much about that with the coaches and whatnot. Tom's training really well, and hopefully we're both out there. But if we're not, the coaches will. I'm sure they're already over, looked at it a few times throughout the week. But we have a lot of guys that can play different roles, and I think that's we're really lucky with that. We got some, some backmen that can go forward. We got new guys coming in. We got guys that can play different roles, and we can change things up. So hopefully it's, doesn't play it that way, but if it does, it will be a little bit of a different looking forward line.
Obviously this week will be a big part for him, but is Tom looking better from what you've seen? Is he getting closer?
Yeah, definitely. I think, as he's sort of, over the last few weeks, he's transitioned well into training with the main group, and he's done it for a long time, so he knows how to take care of his body, and he knows how to prepare really well. So it's exciting for the group, but yeah, I'm sure a call will be made there. He'll sit down with, I don't know who it is, Scotty and the other two coaches, or the other 3, 4, 5 coaches. I'm not sure. I'm sure the medicos will be there, and they'll make a call on that. But he's in really good shape, and he's giving himself the best opportunity.
What do you like about Ollie Henry and what he's brought to the forward line group, Jeremy?
Yeah, he's a really exciting player. He's what's really stood out to me is sort of his aerial work. He plays. He's sort of like a medium type player, but he plays really tall. He loves leaping at the ball, and he has no fear sort of in the air, which is different. It's really stood out over the pre-season. He finds his feet really well after an aerial contest, and finds the ball at ground level as well. So we know he can find the goals. So yeah, we've always sort of known that, but that's really what stood out for me. So it gives us another different look. He's sort of been playing across half forward with Ollie Dempsey a fair bit in the pre-season, and they're both sort of flying at the footy, which is just exciting to see.
You really can be hard at forward line, couldn't it? Because Gary Ryan doesn't mind running and jumping at the footy as well. There's going to be a lot of potential. Mark's taking a ball at ground level, which is going to provide real options for him.
It will. We've got a really good balance, I think, within the forward line, and different guys that can play different roles. And Chucky's always, we've seen that for a number of years. The way he plays his footy, he loves the crash packs, and it gives the Grind Myers and Closey and Tyson a real look at it at ground level. Like I said, we've got a really good balance. So it's a good mix to have. It's an exciting group within the forward line, and we're excited to take on 2023.
You prepared to fly the flag for Ollie? I mean, like it or not, whether it be from the fans or from his old side, there could be a bit of a warm welcome given the circumstances of coming here. Is that something you're expecting to do, and how do you think he'll handle that if he's playing? Yeah,
it's an interesting sort of scenario for him, isn't it? I remember playing against GWS for the first time, and there probably wasn't 90,000 there like there's expected, round one of the new season. But as a football club, we'll get around him for sure. But we want him to just stay focused and play his role within the team, and the way he goes about it, you know, when he's up and about playing his football's exactly what we want. So I'm sure we'll be more focused on that, and not so much, you know, what they bring.
Having done that journey before, coming from you know, interstate and coming back here, and particularly for the likes of Tanner and Jack, who come from expansion clubs as well too, have you been a bit of a mentor, I guess, in helping them make that transition, and what have you made of those two guys in particular as they look to potentially play around one? Yeah,
definitely. It's I wouldn't say a mentor, but someone, you know, they can speak to if they want. You know, the club's full of leaders and full of great people, so there's so many you know, guys that they can lean on if they need to. I know it is tough coming down and finding your feet sort of in the first year, albeit when I did come down, it was a COVID sort of affected season, and then the hamstring issues, and it was all sort of rolled into one. So and even just, you know, living down here, and my partner Indy was in Sydney at the time, just sort of working through all that can be tough. So and also tough on their partners. So yeah, it's something that, you know, we've spoken about briefly, and they both seem like, all of them have seemed like they've adjusted really well, and they're training really well. So on the back of that, which is what's most exciting for the group.
Jess, how have you gone putting last year in the background and turning the focus to this year? It's the ultimate success. You enjoy it as long as you can, but how easy is it to switch from enjoying it to looking forward? There comes a point, sort of within the off season, I guess, where you got to get back into training, and you know, it's I don't like not doing much, if that makes sense. So it's nice to have a bit of a rest, and you got to enjoy it with the group, because it's so hard to get there, and let alone win a grand final. So when you do, you have to enjoy it with the group and friends, family, everyone that's sort of around you. But you know, 3 weeks, a month after that, it's sort of, you know, you pull the runners back on and you get back to it, and you know the focus is to get fit and ready to go for the 2023 season. So it comes around really quick, because you do go so deep into finals as well, and then you mix in the Christmas break, 3 weeks sort of with family and friends there, and suddenly it's January again. So you got to flick that switch pretty quickly, and you know, as I sort of mentioned in the previous questions, we've got a lot of guys around the club that are really good leaders, guys that have been there and won flags before, and they know what it takes and how hard it is to back it up. So, the focus was shifted pretty quickly, and along with all the new guys that have come in, you know, builds excitement. There's plenty of guys that haven't been out there on grand final day and want to be out there, so you can really feed off them as well, but we definitely don't lack in motivation.
Just on that, I mean, there's going to be a fair few faces, you know, on Friday night that didn't play in that grand final. When you're talking about that, keeping that hunger alive and keeping that fire going, how much are they lifting it for guys like Max and Asada and the new guys coming in?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a huge part of it. You know, even the guys that did play in the grand final, we can't thank them enough, because throughout the finals campaign, you know, they're not necessarily playing on the weekends, but they're training against us. They're making sure they're ready to go if there's an injury or they get a call up. You know, it's a tough spot to be in at times. So, you know, their attitude's been huge, and yeah, you've mentioned Max and Asava, the way they've been training's been great throughout this pre-season. It's been incredible to watch, and the way they've gone about it, you can definitely see that the hunger's there, and you do feed off that as other players. As I mentioned, we're a really motivated group anyway, but these are the little things that make you play your best and train harder and try and get to, you know, the position you want to be in.
What's that been like as a defender? You might have had a bit of a chance to train against him this pre-season.
Yeah.
Obviously, had a bit of a role last year with the VFL coming up through that. But what sort of strengths do you think he can bring to that new role?
Yeah, I think he's got some really good guys down there teaching him, in Stewie and DK even. It's sort of weird saying DK because he's only 21, but you know, these are guys that have done it at the highest level, and He's just attacked it and I guess just taken it on in a way. He's been really hard to play on. Coming up against him quite a number of times in the pre-season, he's been really difficult. We know how tall he is. We know he loves flying at the footy, and he backs himself. He's really been backing himself to go and mark the footy. So, that's probably one of the harder things to do when you're playing it back. You can be sort of worried about your man, but he loves to fly at it. So, gives us a different look again, and it's something that's really exciting for both him and the group.
The AFL's announced today that they'll spend $25 million on a study of concussion impacts. Are you and players comfortable with the AFL's current protocols and plans around concussion?
Yeah, it's obviously a tricky sort of subject. I'm all for sort of the way we go about it with concussion. The doctors are right across that. I've been lucky enough myself not to be sort of concussed, touch wood, for a number of years now, but it's a really important thing to get right, I feel. So there'll be always tweaks along the way, and I'm sure like the stuff behind the scenes is getting better and better, the way we can sort of manage concussion. So hopefully that keeps improving, and we can have guys long after football having when I finish playing football and retire, I want to be able to enjoy time with my kids, and hopefully everyone can do that.